Everybody, and welcome back to creating your inner and outer oasis. Today is our day 4. I can't believe this week is just flying by us, but hopefully you're making some changes and doing your homework and actually seeing the benefits of going through this process and really creating the sense of peace and stability within your home and workspace and within your mindset and your body. So I'll have Lisa start us off.
Hi, everyone. So as we start off every session, today we're going to use our mantra again with the intention to create our inner and outer oasis. So I'm going to use the 3 secrets of activation. If you can deeply visualize, we're going to be using the mantra, my oasis is within and around me, and we're going to use our mudra, hand symbol. So just to set the stage, I'm going to ring my bell and then I'll lead you through 9 times of repetition, connecting your mind, visualization with your mantra and your mudra. My oasis is within and around me. 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 My oasis is within and around me.
So now that we've got a little bit of grounding, let's bring us back to this moment, to being present, to being grounded in what's to come so we can fully absorb the information. So I'll have us do the 3 deep breaths again. So let's get started. Inhale all the way in. And exhale out. Inhale all the way in. And you can sigh it out. And one more deep breath in. And exhale out, releasing any remaining tension. Beautiful. Well, welcome to today. And just to review, we started out this week on Monday with setting intentions for this experience and for the next 5 years that we want to create in our life. We also talked about decluttering and clearing, which was the next stage, and what that means to do it within your physical space, but also how do you do that within your mindset and your emotional space. Then yesterday we covered what do you allow. Again, this pertained to what do we allow into our mind and into our body, and what do we allow into our physical space, and how do we adjust and manage that. And then today we're going to talk about the daily rituals, which is the foundation of creating the sustainable force that supports us on a daily basis with this state of inner and outer oasis. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about reflection and reflect on this whole experience and what do we want it to be going forward. So today, where I wanted to start is having you consider what are the routines that you practice within your life, within your business, on daily, weekly, monthly basis. What makes you feel supported? What kind of routines work for you? What kind of routines don't work for you? And what can we do today to improve how these routines are benefiting you in this state of internal and external oasis? So when we talk about routines, obviously there's so many different areas that we can cover and we only have so much time. So today I want to focus specifically on the morning routine. which I believe is the most important routine that you can have because it's priming you for the rest of the day. And how are you going to feel the rest of the day? How are you going to show up? How will you interact with your business partners, with your family, with your friends? It gives you strength. It also gives you a sense of checking in with yourself to understand, are you having a good day? Are you having one of those, not so sure about days? And what can you do from the onset to balance it out or to give yourself as much comfort and compassion in some days as you can? So we're going to do a writing exercise today. And I want you to start by writing down 5 things that you do every single morning. And you can share it in the chat as always, or you can just write it on a piece of paper, something that you can look back upon. And the reason why I ask you to do that is some people think, oh, I don't have a morning routine unless it involves meditation or a tea ceremony or something that's super elaborate. Well, the reality is we all have a morning ritual, a morning routine. It's whatever it is that we do on a consistent basis. So whether you define it as a morning routine or not, you've got one. So we're going to look at it and see what is part of your daily morning practice right now. Okay, so we've got some comments coming in. Okay. Making morning drinks. Okay, so for some people it can be coffee. For other people it's turmeric and ginger. Beautiful. And okay, have that drink before the kids wake up. I don't have kids, so I can enjoy my drink anytime. But I know it's important to have some of that quiet time before the household wakes up and before everything starts buzzing. So that's very important. Okay. Okay, do a walk. Beautiful. Make the bed. That's a big one. That's a very easy step to make you feel more organized and more in control. That doesn't take that much time and also makes you feel like you've already achieved something for the day. That's a beautiful one. And then checking in with friends and checking on current events. Okay, beautiful. So now I want you to think about and use your imagination. So imagine that there were no kids to worry about. There was no spouse. There was no dog that had to go out. There was no financial restraints. Absolutely anything and everything you can possibly imagine can be yours. In that absolute freedom, list 5 things that you would love to have in your morning routine. What would your ideal morning routine look like? And I'll give you an example. One woman that I was presenting in a group, and one woman said, well, I'm single and I would love to have coffee in bed. So what we came up with is getting a little coffee maker like you have in the hotels and placing it by her bed. So all she has to do in the morning is roll over and press the button because she's already preset it in the night before. So you have that fresh coffee aroma. She can have her cup, she can have her favorite mug right there, and she doesn't even have to get out of bed. So there are creative ways of implementing these ideal things that you don't necessarily have to make overly complex. So if anybody wants to share what their ideal morning routine would include, you can put it in a chat or you can also write it down for yourself. So I know one of the routines that people often want to do but never have time to do is meditation or some kind of a practice time or space, or even be able to read for 10 to 30 minutes. So Something like that is just a matter of making it priority. And perhaps it means that you might move your shower to the night before. It might mean that you set out the clothes you want to wear the night before. So that way you create a little more time for yourself in the morning. And it's just a matter of figuring out what is truly a priority for you. So for the homework that I'm going to assign to you today is very simple. I want you to pick one of your ideal morning ritual items. And it can be as simple as, maybe you just want to do 3 deep breaths and ring a bell. Whatever it is for you, and as simply as you can make it, I want you to implement it tomorrow morning and start enjoying it and start feeling the benefit of it in the most, again, easy, compassionate way. So if it's a complex desire, you can break it up into smaller steps and perhaps you implement a part of it tomorrow. Perhaps you just create that 5 to 10 extra minutes that you want by doing something in advance and just luxuriating in your morning beverage just a little longer. So that way, by the time you're all set with whatever preparations you need to make for your ideal morning routine item, that you have everything in place and you have time to do it. So with that, I'll pass it on to Lisa.
Thank you so much. I love those ideas, and I would love to have my warm drink in bed every morning. So that's brilliant. It's simple. It's something that we can do right away. And you're right, we just have to be a little bit more creative in thinking about our routines. So what I'm going to talk about today as it relates to our spaces, I'm going to circle back to a little bit of what we talked about yesterday with the yin and yang theory. There we go. So again, with yin and yang, we talked about light being the strongest manifestation of qi and getting a sense of whether our spaces are experiencing any imbalances, whether they're too bright, too cool, too much like a cave, too much like a sauna. We thrive in depth. So being able to create spaces that have variety of light and a variation in darkness. So you don't want to rely on just one overhead light. You want to have a variety of lights, floor lamps, table lamps, candles even, to help create that, that tranquility and harmony that we're looking for in our spaces. We also use crystals in Feng Shui, faceted crystals, and I mentioned them a bit yesterday as a cure and very powerful to use in the entryway because they refract and reflect. They manipulate that light or qi energy throughout our space. Mirrors also, being an element of water, they're very powerful in reflecting and bouncing that light around the room. You often see those in small, strategically placed in small passageways to help fill the area. We can also play with textures and textiles and patterns, and also fabric helps to absorb light as well, right? So we can get a little creative there. Also, in terms of yin and yang, I want to also talk about our sense of smell, olfactory system. It goes right to that center that plays into our emotions. Before we get too much further, think about scents that bring back memories or a sense of calm. Maybe for some of you, it's the smell of lavender, and it makes you think of not only a spa, but it might make you think of a person. And certainly in Feng Shui, lavender is an essential oil that is very yin, very calming. So we can use essential oils in our routines to help us set the stage for any part of our day. If you don't have a diffuser in your life, I encourage you to look into using them. They're wonderful. I rely upon them so much, having children as well, too, to diffuse scents that will help them relax into their spaces. And it works very well. As far as yang energy, my favorite go-to is the citrus oil. So orange and grapefruit. They're wonderful at making us feel alive and happy. They can wake us up. I use them in classroom situations to help, especially after lunch, wake up everybody's vibe again and get the conversations going. So now's the perfect time to reach for citrus. If you don't have citrus oil, you could start peeling an orange and leave the orange peels out for a little while. That is another very ancient feng shui cure in itself, using orange peels. In terms of space clearing, so a lot of you think space clearing and immediately go to sage. I love white sage. It's wonderful for clearing out all of the negativity, and it leaves a blank slate for us. But think in terms of not everyone has time, or it's not always palatable to everybody to smell sage. So you can also use essential oils. I talk often and give my clients what I create as a feng shui essential oil spray. And it is created using about 10 to 15 drops of essential oil, some alcohol. You can use vodka, you can use rubbing alcohol, and a little bit of distilled water to fill a spray bottle. Shake it up, and then you can carry it in your purse. You can use it within your car. However you need it, you can make a yin and a yang spray. So say you have a tough day at work, lots of meetings, lots of emotions are taken onto you. You can spray your yin spray, lavender or eucalyptus even is nice, and help lower the vibe a little for yourself. Likewise, after lunch, you need a little pick-me-up. Reach for your yang spray, and then you're using your orange essential oil or grapefruit to wake yourself up and gear back up for that afternoon, like a little coffee in a bottle. So space clearing, I'm going to leave this for you in our group as well. Here's a little ritual to walk you through space clearing, and it's a way to clean the air, not only of, it's said to help clear with toxins as well, but also to clear negativity. If you feel stagnation, you can chase it out with space clearing and also sense it out. So you want to start near the front door for an entryway of your office, your home, wherever it may be. And I like to set the scene with lighting a candle to make it feel more like a ritual. If you don't have the time, that's okay as well, because we're using our intention once again. You want to state your intention, and that is to rid or to awaken, rid that negative, stagnant energy, so we are able to welcome in opportunities, happiness, and blessings. We're going to use our 3-part activation with the mantra, mudra, and vision 9 times around the room in each major area. And I prefer to move clockwise. You might read or might have been told otherwise to move counterclockwise. I prefer to move clockwise. That is the natural pattern for smoke to circulate throughout a room, and that is something that shamans use in their practice as well. So you're going to continue clockwise around your room, paying attention to nooks and crannies. And if you're using sage, pay attention to the smoke it's leaving. And is it stagnant? Is it getting stuck, or is it flowing? So you want to pay close attention to spaces that are corners or behind bookshelves, places you might not go, and continue to clear that space. Once you've completed, you want to clear yourself, and if you're using essential oil spray or Palo Santo, that is fine as well. You want to, from head to toe and back up, clear yourself, and then open the windows and the door, and all of that negative energy is going to leave. You can then welcome in new blessings into the space. You can play music. I love using BPMs on YouTube. I use them for workouts. They have special tracks that are used for space clearing that can do all the work for you. So say you wake up, you want to turn on space clearing on YouTube and allow it to do its work. Bless that space. You can welcome abundance and happiness and blessings. And ring bells helps to welcome in that energy as well. You can ring chimes. Any bell that you have. You can use the Pingsha's bell. They're just very beautiful to have as a part of your ritual and to keep in your space if you meditate. And visualize these blessings coming to you and really feel them. Laughing and singing, if you have family, involve them. and extinguish your fire at the home base just to close out your ritual. I like to use alcoholic spirits to additionally help cleanse myself. And you can use your essential oil spray and just refresh yourself. The feeling should be refreshed. It should feel like it just rained, very fresh within the space. It feels like you've cleaned. And then it's very important that we replenish, just like after we get a massage or do acupuncture, drink lots of water for the rest of the day, drink your tea, healthy things go in your body as much as possible after doing a clearing. And then signs of wonderful chi and blessings around you are wildlife seen outside of your property, butterflies, flowers are blooming, that fresh rain smell that I referenced, and you'll sleep better and have calm dreams. And I've spoken to quite a few people in this week that are experiencing a lot of turbulence in their sleeping patterns. That lines up with the lunar cycle. So that might be something that you're experiencing right now. And I think these rituals that we've talked through might help you have a more restful sleep and wake up and feel refreshed and get back into your routine. So these are just a few thoughts. I want to leave with you too a few handouts if you enjoy crystals. Crystals can also align with those 5 elements that we discussed. So I will include the blessings and crystals handouts in our group. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. And I want to hear about your experiences if you're trying any of these.
Lisa, I know we had one question that
Yes.
was around how often would you do the clearings?
So in my practice, I do clearings daily for myself. At minimum, I use my Feng Shui spray. I don't always have time to bust out all of the tools to walk around the entire home. But I do use a diffuser, and I strongly encourage everyone to let it do its work as well in helping you clear and to activate the abundance. There's different essential oils that are helpful in attracting money, for example. You can use basil, that type of thing, diffuse throughout your home. And it's said to be very healing as well. I do it daily. If you're doing it weekly or once a month, I think that's great too. If you are selling a home, for example, that requires a deep clean. So that is something that you should spend a great deal of time doing as you're preparing to sell a home, going through any major shift. If there's any new activity in a home or there's tending to be lots of arguments, then you're going to want to do a space clearing a little more frequently. If you're just maintaining once a week, once a month is fine, just as you schedule your regular cleaning. A good tip.
So when you say deep cleaning, what does that mean? Is that the whole house or is
Yes,
it,
yes, that would be the whole house. And that's when I would really encourage you to use white sage in that instance, because it's like a clean slate. So white sage will be like a clean slate, wiping everything out. And that's great for ridding predecessor energy of your own house. If you're a realtor and you're practicing this, it's going to wipe out everything from the previous owners. If you're selling your own house, you want to rid your own energy and allow it to attract new energy. 100%. And that would involve the white sage. You can also use Palo Santo. Palo Santo is a little more mild, and that is a 2-in-1. So that's a twofer. It's going to clear and bless at the same time. So white sage, you definitely have to do the 2 steps, clear and then welcome in the blessings. Palo Santo is a good twofer. Does it all at one time.
And I have a question when it comes to Palo Santo. I've bought some that smells good when you just smell it dry, but then when you start burning it, it doesn't have that same scent. So how do you tell good Palo Santo from fake Palo Santo?
Well, the good thing about Palo Santo I like is it dissipates faster. And I don't know what your preference is, more towards the floral smelling or more towards like the piney smelling. To me, it smells usually more pine. And I do recommend that when you're purchasing your goods for space clearing, that you make sure the source is sustainable. And so that's where you might want to go to an actual health food store, metaphysical shop, where you know you can find out where the source is rather than getting it from Amazon. There are some Etsy shops, I think, that are pretty good as well, but you want to make sure that the intentions that are going into the Palo Santo are good, and you want to know the source to make sure it's, you know, to your point, the type of Palo Santo you want to be filling your space with. And I'd be curious to know which one is more pleasing to you, because I feel there is some wood that smells a little more flowery, which to me is not as pleasant as the pine smell. I feel that doesn't linger as much.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you know the next time I do my house.
Yes. Yeah, let me know. I'll check it out. I'd be happy to help you source some that you'd like, so you have that on the regular for your own practice.
Beautiful. I don't know if we have any more questions. If you guys have questions, feel free to drop them into the group. And we're running out of time, so we're going to start wrapping up. And thank you all for joining us and going through this journey. Tomorrow is going to be an exciting day. We did our temperature check, if you will, on day 1 and looked at where did we rate on the scale of 0 to 10 our inner oasis and our outer oasis. And tomorrow is going to be a very telling day, because we'll get to do this again and see what progress you have made over these last couple of days, and where do you want to take this journey going forward. So tomorrow is going to be a great day. Definitely join us. If you can't join us live, you will have the access for videos in the Facebook group. And as always, feel free to reach out to us there and also share your experiences and your insights and your homework. How have you been succeeding with that? Lisa, do you have any parting words?
No, I thank you all so much for your attention, and I've been enjoying hearing your messages. Feel free to continue private messaging us as well. And we're here for you. We are your guides through this experience, and we can't wait to hear your results tomorrow.
Beautiful. Enjoy the day, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much.